Hello? Can you hear me? I can't even hear you, bro. Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?
Oh, it's me. Yeah, okay, it's me, yeah. Welcome to LFC, everyone. LFC Red Forever. I don't know what's going on with my actual background. I've been trying to fix everything. It's just not working out for some reason, bro. But it's now, I think it's okay. I think everybody can hear me. What's going on, Anton, man? You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, brother.
Are you looking forward to this transfer news we're putting up? You've been sending me some messages yesterday, innit? So, what do you think? What do you think of these players anyway, man? Do you like them or?
Do I like them?
Mm-hmm.
Right at this moment, beggars can't be choosers, man. But
we can't be.
They're decent players. They're decent young players, and you know they're all 22 almost.
Young, yeah.
Yeah, except what's his name? McAllister. Oh, it's McAllister. McAllister 22, isn't he?
It's 24, I think, something like that. 25. Yeah.
The rest of them all 22, man. It's crazy, man.
I'm telling you,
decent players, man. Decent outfits, man.
Yeah, I need to work on the sound, man, because it's been happening recently, man. Because I keep changing the headphones, innit? So I've got one headphones, and it's just too many stuff at the moment. I just need to get used to it. Let's bring on Harley, man. Harley! It's been a while, bro.
How are we?
You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm sweet, me, cause Anton, you good? I've just had to go off. I was having some issues. I've just turned it off, put it back on. Everything's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sweet.
Yeah, good.
I'm sweet. I'm fantastic.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, well, listen, I wasn't meant to do a show. I actually resigned to it. I thought I was gonna do just a video, which I've been doing recently. But I had to get you guys on so we could discuss this transfer. That we need in our midfield, our defense, our attack. So yeah, we're gonna be looking to a few things today. So let's start with this. Yeah, let me actually get the stuff out here. Yeah, so Anne, what do you think of this? Let's start with obviously the midfield, where after this kid who plays for Nice. Nice is obviously a club for Jim what's his name? Ratcliffe guy who's about to own Man United, or maybe I don't know, but he's a Man United fan as well. Is he going to be a hard bargain for us to get Thuram from them? And as you said to me yesterday, Thuram is an actual defensive midfielder that could play left, right, and go all over the pitch as well.
Don't get me wrong, I do understand about this guy who's a Man United fan. He's British, but he owns Nice. But the thing is, Thuram's got his own agents and things like that.
Yeah.
He's got his own wants and desires. I don't think someone it's not like back in the day they can do them things, but nowadays they play on the contract, and if people get to their contract and give them the right money, I'm sure it won't be a problem. I don't think there's a problem because he's a Man United supporter. For me personally.
But what do you think of the player though, in general? How do you rate him? Because you was telling me yesterday, about him, and is he as good as people say he is, or is it just a hearsay kind of thing? Everybody talking about it and jumping on the bandwagon.
For me, if you play for France, under 20s, under 21s, and things like that, or the younger versions of them, like the teens as well, you're a decent player. Because that Clairefontaine place, it's like England used to have Lillyshaw back in the day.
Yeah.
I believe he's got a senior cap now, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah. It's excellence. It's a school for excellence. So it's not just any footballers.
Yeah.
Excellence. So you can see he's a decent player. You can see it. he'd be so vital, man. He'd be so vital, man. Extra legs, man.
I agree.
And he's
What do you think of him?
one of the greatest players, one of the greatest players as well. Lilian Thuram, who played for Parma and France. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. What do you think of him, Harley, as well? Like, I know you look into players like this,
Yeah,
and
you
have your know-how about them.
Anybody who has either follows me on Twitter or has seen this tweet I wrote on him last night, I've had that in my kind of drafts for a while. A lot of it was based on I sat down and watched Nice versus Mons play. I wouldn't pronounce them, that mad French team that Mamadou Sakho plays for. I'm not the best with the French names. Give me a little bit of leeway there.
Neither am I, but yeah.
But yeah. And Nice won 6-1. He scored, he got assists, he was just all over the place, but that was a big basis of that bit of work I'd owed. But I've watched him a couple of times in general. I think he's fantastic. On the ball, he reminds me of Paul Pogba in terms of what we can carry the ball forward, and that is high praise. He reminds me of a Naby Keita as well, except a lot less injury prone, obviously, and he's a lot less lightweight as well. I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking he's just a defensive-minded midfielder, but he's actually really effective at dribbling. He can do a lot in the final third. He gets himself in a lot of good positions to shoot. Like, if you look at his percentile of shots compared to other midfielders, he gets a lot of them off, which is something that Naby Keita has going for him as well. So I think this is like a direct Naby Keita replacement, but he's never had an injury in his professional career, as far as I know, which is obviously a massive improvement on what we had in that department, because injury issues in the midfield has been a big issue.
But Harley, do you think, because Jim Ratcliffe is in charge of Nice, obviously he's trying to buy Man United, and he could buy them, we don't know, and also he's a Man United fan, do you think like he'll play a hard bargain on Thuram coming to Liverpool? Because you know how it is between us and Man United in any kind of walks of life, we don't associate each other, anything like that. We don't buy, we don't anything linked to Liverpool and Man United. It's never going to work out.
I think it's one of them though, where there's only so much he can do. Like, he can try, but at the end of the day, if we try for it and Thuram puts his foot down and goes, no, I want to play for Liverpool, he can't really do anything about that. So I think it's literally just as simple as that. I don't think it'll be as big an issue as some think. He might try and mess us about a bit, but I don't see it working really. I think if Liverpool want to play, Liverpool will get the player.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Like, with me, from what I've seen, I only look at clips, you know what I mean? Anton knows me, like, from years ago, I watch every football, man. MLS to any football. But nowadays, I just watch Liverpool. I don't really concentrate on other leagues. You know, as you get older, you don't have that kind of, time to watch all those games and all that stuff. But from the clips I saw of him, he looks like a powerful runner, like you said, Harley, from deep. And he's brave in challenges as well as like, creating chances for players. What I like about him most of all, Anton, is his passing from deep. He could actually do long balls, through balls from deep as well, and his all-round play, you could see he's technically gifted compared to the likes of Naby Keita that we expected a lot, but nothing came back even when he's on the pitch. I mean, obviously injuries hampered his career at Liverpool, but this kid looks more busier in that midfield when he plays compared to Naby Keita.
I do agree. I do agree with a little bit of Naby Keita, but he's more. You couldn't imagine him, Naby Keita, playing DM. You understand? Yeah. He's got more to his game than Naby. Maybe how his stature is when he controls the ball, even how tall he is compared to Naby. I understand what you mean by that, but he's got more to his game. Yeah. Defensive, in the defensive part, in the opposition part, in the air, he's combatant, which we've been dying for. He can get around the place. Yeah, and he come from, like I said, Clairefontaine. If you're
he's a Monaco boy. He's not Nice boy. He's a Monaco boy. Where Thierry Henry, all them came through. Yeah. Mbappe.
From Clairefontaine Academy. I'm sorry, it's like La Masia. Barcelona, but it's a school for excellence of the French school of excellence.
Excellence, yeah.
So you can't just be anyone, man. So he's decent. He's got a good pedigree. His dad, you know what I'm saying? His brother's playing.
Yeah.
The other day.
That's the most important thing, yeah. That's the most.
Yeah, good player, man. So I can't wait for him to sign. To be honest, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to sign him, obviously. Like I said, Jim Ratcliffe and all that stuff. But it's all about negotiations, isn't it, guys? It's all about negotiations. Like, we didn't expect Cody Gakpo to come through the door for 35 million, did we? Plus add-ons at the end of it. So it can happen. You know what I mean? It's not be or end all. Like, and the next player I want to go for is this guy. Everybody wants him. I wonder.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants this Kone kid. I was wondering, why do these people actually talk about Kone to me every single time, and I don't know anything about him? I just watched a few things about him. He is an action-packed midfielder, guys.
He's good.
He's good on the floor. He's good at everything. Like, if you expect from a midfielder, like, he could dribble with the ball. What I like about him the most, Harley, he's deep running with the ball. Like, he could get the ball and just dribble all the way to the front and create chances as well. So like, so if we revert back to that number 8 role where Henderson used to play and push Trent back to his right back role, I think this kid could actually back him up and do even more in that role. What do you think of him, Harley? Since you've been watching him.
Yeah, I think I've said before, I think he's a very similar player to Thuram, but there's also noticeable differences. If you're looking at similarities, it's the size and the frame. Both tall lads, both got a bit of power to them. Carrying the ball out from deep. Technical ability, they both got really good first touches and low sense of gravity for such big guys. Intelligence as well. Where I would give Kone an advantage over Thuram is, I'd probably say I would rather have him in the defensive areas. Thuram's someone who's more effective and a bit further forward, whereas I'd trust Kone a bit more to sit back and kind of control. If Thuram would be our Naby Keita replacement, I'd say Kone would be our Gini Wijnaldum replacement. That's how I'd put it, but there's also some differences there. Like Thuram, I'm probably more inclined to say, yeah, he'll be more effective in the final third, whereas Kone, I'd trust more to make like those last-ditch tackles and protect that kind of defensive midfield area. But with those differences, there's also similarities, so yeah, I think I'd love to get both of them in. I'd love to get both of them in because they can both offer something. It's very different, but also they are very similar in a good way. Yeah. It's not as if you're buying the exact same player twice. They're very similar. A lot of the things you want from a midfielder, they can both do. Yeah. They can both do different things as well.
What I've seen about Kone compared to other players is he's more action packed, and plus he ain't afraid of a challenge. Like what I've said in the past. If you look at Liverpool, guys, the issues I have is the lack of aggressive side of the game. That we don't have aggressive players on that pitch. So now, if we're going for these type of players, not only are they good in possession, they are aggressive as well. So if you go like away to Manchester City, these players will like compete with the likes of Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and all that stuff. Match them for pace, match them for the aggressive side of things as well. That's what I've seen of these two players, man. That's what I'm hoping for it. You know what I mean? I don't know much about them. I don't really like throw myself at players, but from what people tell me, these players are worth every penny. And not only that, from what I've heard of Kone as well, what is it, 35 million in pounds?
That's a bargain.
That's a bargain, man.
I think the reason they're going so cheap is because I think Mönchengladbach are actually having some financial struggles, and a lot of the players that they have are looking at going at the end of the contracts. So Thuram, Marcus Thuram, who's coincidentally Kevin Thuram's brother, he's going to be leaving for free. Florian Niehaus, another one that we've probably been linked with a few times. I know a lot of people have said that might be a potential Liverpool target. He's going on a free. They've got a lot of these players who are going for free, so their thought process is, players leaving on a free, we're in financial trouble, shit, what can we do? Let's sell some players for profit, because we need the money. So hopefully that would help us get a deal through quickly. If we are, especially
the finance we play as well, Harley. I mean, we're not blessed with money. So Anton, what do you think of Kone, bro? I know you studied him and all that stuff.
Personally, he's the better one out of the two. He's the more confident out of the two. When I mean more confident, I see him do a pirouette in just outside his 18-yard box. Yeah. And he's in the defensive part. defending his goal behind him, and he just did a pirouette around the player. I'm not seeing Thuram doing that. He's more safe, and they're very similar. But I thought Kone's he's got more flamboyance. He's got more panache. He's more skillful. When you see it, you'll see them. They'll come. You come back straight and say, yeah, you're right. I'm 100%. For me, Thuram's the more defensive one out of the two.
Yeah.
Even though they're mostly centre midfielders, not defensive midfielders, but he's more defensive. Both of them play that kind of box to box, but I think Manu Koning's it'll be more effective going forward and going back for me personally.
Anton, do you think like with these two players, like if we bring them in, obviously there's another player we're going to speak about later on. If we bring them all in, do you think our midfield will change to more confident midfield instead of like, you know, hesitant kind of midfielders that we have usually? I mean, because we panic on the ball a lot. Let's be honest. When someone's around us, it's like someone's got a gun on us, and we're all over the place.
To be honest, our midfield before, even when we won stuff, wasn't the greatest. It was good at running.
Yeah,
Gini Wijnaldum, he wasn't the best player. He was one of the best runners, and he always was there. He missed about 4 games due to illness, not even injury. You understand? Henderson's not the greatest, but he's a runner and he's a commander, and you know what I mean. He's like the manager on the field.
The basics were done well.
These guys, when it comes to running, they're both athletic, and they can do a bit more than the boys that we had. To be honest, to be really frank with you. You understand? Because Wijnaldum, how many goals a season did he get? How many assists a season did he get?
Not much. He'll get that odd goal here and there. You know what I mean? To win games.
These two are more likely to get maybe 5, 6 more, 7 goals a season probably, and more assists, maybe 5 assists.
Yeah.
You understand? That will add to it even more. They can do the running as much as them guys are doing. If they got the language, and then they get over the language barrier, they're going to be absolutely great. It's just can't wait for them to just see him with the team. To be honest,
I'm sure they learned English in Clairefontaine. I'm sure because majority of the people that come out of Clairefontaine, they learn the language, don't they? Go on.
I'd be interested to know how much English they do. No, I've not really. I know quite a bit about them, but I've never actually sat down and listened to them do an interview though, or like I don't know much about them as people.
You know, like from what I've seen, Harley, like in the past, when players come out from that academy, like Anton says, majority of them do speak English. I've never seen one that struggled with the language, to be fair. I think they did teach them the language, probably Spanish as well, and things like that. So I can see them like doing well at Liverpool. But like I said, the most important thing for me is like off the ball work. If we don't have that in the next season, I think we're going to be in a mess. This is why we're struggling this season.
All these players coming in, it's going to just make everyone just play better. You know, it's just. That's how it's always been with me with playing football. All I've known is like you're playing for a team, and these new players coming in, you can see they're much better. Only your game. Honestly, it's the same throughout. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's all about competition, isn't it, Anton? Like even when me and Anton used to play football back in the day, although like we were friends and all that stuff, but we used to compete. You know what I mean? We used to say who's the best out of the two, or something like that. That's what I like. You know what I mean, if you have that in the team, I think it will raise your like football ability even further, so you could keep your position in the team as well.
Yeah, I think Louis Diaz and Cody Gakpo, when they both came in, like they both came in January's, with Gakpo being this January, Diaz last January. Obviously, what they provide improves the team alone because they're both fantastic footballers. But they improve the team around them as well, because having somebody who injects that bit of life into a team, has that bit of quality, it makes everyone around them go, 100%. Well, he's fantastic to play around. Let's be like him.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Maybe he'll take my place. Certain players in certain positions, you think he can take my place in the team. Hang on, no, I don't want that.
Yeah. Exactly like when Suarez, when he first come, I was seeing Henderson doing things that I didn't seem to do a no look pass. Henderson, are you serious? I was seeing things like wow. I was seeing even Raheem Sterling never do, even at City. It's like he's like he knew this guy was not messing around. This guy is an absolute baller.
Exactly.
I want to be like him. You know what I mean? Even what's his name? Not Sterling. What's his name up front? Sturridge.
Sturridge.
had a new lease of life when he come in. He looked
Exactly.
like he was off. So when these players come in and they know what they're about, these guys are just only raise our game, man.
100%. Let me read the comments in it. Marco says transfers needed. I hope this club buys the right players to compete. Yeah, this is what we need. I honestly think, like, if we plucked those holes that's missing, I think we could challenge again. Because look at Arsenal from 5th to 1st. Why can't we do it? You know what I mean? And we've got the players. It's just, if you look at the end of the season, why have we improved in the last 10 games? Because players came back from injury and everybody had to keep their place, right? That's what happened. Yeah. So the players.
Curtis Jones was starting most weeks.
Oh. Yeah. So as he says, have it awesome show. Thank you, man. Big up John Conway as well. Always a pleasure, man. John as well. Big up, mate. Big up to all of you guys. As we go along, we're gonna read the comments anyway. So let's go to the next player, which is obviously. I'm only going for the players we're gonna sign so far. That looks like more likely, if you know what I mean, guys. So this is what I'm gonna go for. So it's McAllister, and Anton is raving about this guy. You know what I mean? He's been like telling me about him. He can't wait for him to come to Liverpool and all that stuff. Is he gonna change our midfield, Anton? Like in regards to creativity and running from deep with the ball, scoring goals for midfield as well? Because I was on a show the other day. Great show by Jamie Phillips. Go on, subscribe to Jamie Phillips Football Chat. He's brilliant at his stuff, man. And I love going to his shows as well. We had our little debates here and there. What they said to me was the reason the players don't shoot from outside the box, the reason the players don't like pass that eye of a needle pass, and things like that, is because the coach tells them. And I said no, it's all in the player's ability. If a player has those kind of abilities, you have to show it off. Anton, we play football all our lives. I can't remember a coach telling me don't shoot and all that stuff when there's an opportunity.
Okay. I think only if you're Sam Allardyce. Remember when he was finding players if you shot?
Yeah. But this club say that to players, bro. Don't shoot from outside the box. Pass side to side and pass back. I can't imagine. Coach is saying that.
I imagine in moments he'll say like, okay.
Maybe late moments at the end of the game or something like that when we have to keep the ball and all that stuff. But during the game,
to be honest, our midfield, barring, don't have the technique to hit it on the Henderson.
So is it the player or is it the manager that actually says things?
It's the players.
Thank you very much.
Henderson
exactly what I said.
Before, and I wasn't expecting him to do it now. So when he came to our team from
Spain,
I was expecting it. I was hearing like the English hype.
Yeah.
Before he first come, I was like, he's quite standard. You know what I mean? But what you believe is what you believe, man. But yeah, he's not the greatest, but looking, we're getting the right one with McAllister. With McAllister,
how do you rate about him? Obviously, in the World Cup, he was brilliant, guys. He was fantastic in the World Cup.
You see me, I like to watch other teams. I know I support Liverpool like full-heartedly, but I like
you still do that, bloody hell, man! I stopped that ages ago.
And other players, and I like to mix them around and put them in things and formations. I like doing that from young, actually. You know what I'm saying?
I remember, yeah.
Murray, we've been doing it since we were in primary school. So McAllister, decent. He can get goals from midfield. He can get assists. It's not too much on the assists, but he'll get the assist before the assist, if you know what I mean. He'll make the pass into the box, so will make the ball go across.
Yeah.
And we'll score. He makes opportunities, kind of thing. He runs all day. He tackles. He's combatant as well. He's not bad in the air as well. He's quite.
Yeah. What I like about him, Anton, is his late runs onto the box as well. Like when the ball's in the wing, he makes his late runs in the box and taps it in. Yeah. And he could take set pieces as well. I saw him score some free kicks as well, man.
Set pieces, and he shoots with either foot as well.
Either foot.
And he passes with either foot as well.
So, yeah.
What do you think of him, Harley? Is he the player everybody's raving about? The player that we need in that midfield? Dynamic, as they call it. I don't want to use that word, because someone was used that Oxlade-Chamberlain. But is he the dynamic that we need in that midfield? The difference in other players?
I think he's really good. I think he's really, really good. As you were just saying, very two-footed, capable of hitting from distance. Although he won't he won't force it too much. I don't think. Like you see a lot of players who try and force these long shots. He picks his moments well, which is a very important skill. He's very technically able. He's versatile, meaning if you want to play him like behind the striker, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to play him as like the 8 in the Henderson position, or even the kind of the left-sided role that we couldn't play Curtis Jones in, he can do that. If you want to play him in a double pivot where he's resisting pressure and doing things like that, he can do all that. He's played all these positions this season for Brighton. But even probably, I've seen him a few times for Brighton play off the wing. Yeah. Although I probably wouldn't be doing that with him. But it's something that Brighton have done, and he's shown he's decent at. He's very versatile, which is important.
Yeah.
There's a lot to this fella's game, and I'd be very happy to see him win.
He's coming 100%. I think he's coming 100%. I think 60 million. I heard 60 million, something like that. They'll be giving.
50 to 60 it's meant to be, and look, I think that's a bargain.
He's only 24 as well, you know what I mean? So we need, like if you look at the players we got, obviously we got rid of 4. We're probably going to get rid of some more as well. The age bracket is coming down dramatically, you know what I mean, Anton? Like if you look at the age, like you talked about the other 2, I think one is 21 and one is 22, and then you look at this guy, he's 24, and there's another player that we're looking at as well that people have lowered their thoughts of, which is what's his name, Gravenberch. You know what I mean? Not a lot has been said about him, but Liverpool are heavily linked with him from what I've seen around, the social medias. I'm good with Gravenberch. I think he can bring a lot into that midfield. He's different to what we've got. He runs with the ball. His ability is like a number 8, isn't it? He makes some runs into the box. He takes on players. He passes the right passes. He doesn't lose a lot of battles in midfield either, Anton. What do you think of him, mate? I know the only thing that disappoints me with Gravenberch at the moment, he doesn't play a lot of games. That's the problem.
Yeah. He's a really good player, but he doesn't get around the pitch like the other players, to be honest. He's more central. He's more out of all the lot of these players. He's calmest. He's very similar to Isaac.
Yeah.
For Newcastle. Not up front, but the one when he's in midfield, he's so calm. He looks fine. Are you not going to move? He doesn't look. Nothing phases him. He's a good player. I wouldn't mind him. But I feel like the players that we're getting in the midfield.
Yeah.
I think it suits the system of the running. You know what I'm saying? He's young, but
you don't rate him as much as the other ones, Ant? You don't rate him as much.
Do you know what? Technically, he's better. He could be better than all of them.
Yeah.
But he doesn't run enough. For me personally, he doesn't get around the box.
What you don't? Is it that lazy type of player you're talking about? Like we used to talk about back in the day.
Kind of. He needs someone to talk to him. Maybe, like get your head around and the arm around him and say, look, maybe that's not your role. Maybe you should sit and play.
Yeah.
But he's a decent player. He's just, for me.
It's only 21. Only 21, man.
He don't get around as much. That's my only thing with him.
Yeah. What about you? Right. So Harley. All right. Harley. What do you think of him, bro?
Look, I like him. I think he's quite good. I don't think we'll get him for several reasons. The biggest reason being that Bayern Munich kind of want to keep him. And if the club that has him is going to be difficult, particularly a big club like Bayern, he probably won't have very much luck. But I would take him. I don't think he is as kind of dynamic or hard working as the other 3, but I wouldn't call him lazy by any stretch.
No,
he's getting around quite a bit. I just think when you compare him to a Corey or Thuram, we were absolute machines in terms of how much work they do. He's always got to go up short, and to be fair, I think those 2 are better fits. Not necessarily, as Anton said, I don't necessarily think they're more talented, but they might be better fits for what we have, just because that kind of industrial midfield. That industrial midfield is very. Fuzzy, there is no sound.
No, that's what earlier. I'm going through the comments. That was earlier. Carry on. I always put the comments, no matter how many it is. I just give them, opportunity.
Yeah. Cool, sweet. Yeah, nice. I was a bit worried then. No, never mind. Gravenberch, he's one of them. I'd take, but if it was a choice between, if I could have any 2 out of the he suggested to us, because let's be honest, McAllister seems pretty much nailed on. I'd probably be looking at taking Thuram and Kone. But if we end up with Gravenberch, you've got no complaints from me. I like him.
Same.
Huh?
I feel exactly the same. Exactly.
Well, about Gravenberch.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking him. I'm sure Klopp will spin him around and say, look, if you want to be that kind of player, if you want to play in this team, what these guys are doing and more, and then let's say you can get through.
I've watched him. I watched him a couple of times. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is. Like, he just needs the opportunity somewhere. Obviously, people are talking about the homegrown as well, but there's a way around it, innit? Chelsea are buying all these players. I mean, with homegrowns as well, but they're buying foreign players, so there's got to be a way around it.
I believe Gravenberch actually wouldn't qualify as like you don't need to register him yet because of his age. I'm pretty sure anybody born in 2002 or after doesn't have to be registered, so that's a way around that for now. I think Gravenberch was born in 02. I could be wrong.
He's born in 02, bro. He's 20. He's 21.
Then we get round that. So yeah, another advantage to Gravenberch is you've got Van Dijk and Gakpo, who are already well known to him. The Dutch pretty much like speak English, don't they? They speak English immaculately. They probably speak better English than I do. But yeah, I'd take him. I really would. I particularly watched them at Ajax, and that's where he really impressed me, particularly in that season where we won the Champions League 4 years ago today. That, by the way, unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah,
that long.
That's flown by. But yeah. That season he impressed me, like where you had all the Ajax young lads in that team who all got on to better things, like De Jong and De Ligt and all them boys, and he's one of them. He particularly stood out to me.
Yeah, he did.
And I've always maintained like he's got, like, how much ability I think he's got. He's had a little bit of he's not gone up and up and up like a lot of people might expect him to, but at that age, it's natural to stagnate for a few years sometimes. It happens. And environment, you can turn it around easily. He's got the talent and the attitude 100%. To do it, I think.
100%, bro. You know, with him, like, I just found it, Bayern Munich, if you look at the majority of their players, they're coming to the latter stage of their career, innit? So, because of his age, they probably just want to nurture him and get him through after when they leave. The likes of Müller and all these other players. That's why they're taking their time with him. But he supports Liverpool. We've seen him with a Liverpool shirt, and if Klopp wants him, I think it was Luis Enrique who said it, who broke that thing. He said Liverpool about to sign him. So if Liverpool sign him, I'm all for it, man. Listen, I'm all about the young players, and what I like about young players is the future. If you get success early, you can build on that for the next 8 to 9 years, and then it will give you time to rebuild at the same time, if you know what I mean, guys. And Liverpool, that's the wrong thing they did when we had these players, the current players that we have. We didn't have a plan in place to rebuild as well as the success happening. If we did that, we wouldn't have these issues that we're having right at the moment. But it's a learning curve, innit? It's just live and learn with it.
They've got a fantastic young core, I think, of players, 25 and under. Now we start adding, what we already, look at the players we already have under a certain age. I'm going to go position by position really quickly. Kelleher, Konate, he's not the most popular with some, but Joe Gomez is still in that age range. Elliott, Curtis Jones, Gakpo, Nunes, Bajcetic, of course. Bajcetic, thank you very much. So we've got such a fantastic young coach. I'm leaving names out. Cool. I'm forgetting names. So yeah, that just the point.
That's what I'm saying.
We keep adding players like that, like McAllister, who's just about in that age range.
24,
Kone, Thuram, Gravenberch, 2 of them 3, ideally.
I agree, Harley. But the thing I was saying is, during the success, it would have been easier for these players to come in.
Still 24.
Yeah, he's still 24. Yeah, he's still 24. So Ravenat says Catherine is a must top baller. Anton said it already. Is he talking about Thuram, right? Catherine Thuram, right?
Yeah, Thuram.
So hi all. Redbird says if we signed Kone, imagine the banter we gonna get with his name Man U. Oh man. That's true. That is true. I gotta agree with that, man. Yeah. So with Gravenberch, I don't mind him, bro. Like if we get him, we get him. If we don't, if these other players come in, it's not the end of the world. But I like him. I really like him. I think he could become the player that we want him to be eventually. So I'm gonna move on to the defense, guys. We're heavily linked to this player, Timber from Ajax. He could play more than one position. Like he could play as a centre back, he could play as a full back, and he could play as a midfielder. I heard as well, just in front of that defense. So, Harley, what do you think of him as being the new centre back that we're probably gonna get in the summer?
I'd love it. As much as I think he'd slot into our back three nicely, because he's very two-footed, he's defensively capable, and all that. Where I would be interested to see him most would be in that inverted shed position. That's where I think he would be playing a lot of minutes. I think he just be as capable there as he would be across the back line, so we'd be able to distribute his minutes along the two kind of positions. So that would be a big reason why I'd be interested. So yeah, I'd be absolutely all for it. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's
how big is he, Harley? Is he a small guy or what is he?
He's quite small. He is quite small
for a centre back.
He's got a leap on him. I think
is he like that Martinez who plays for Man United?
Yeah, he's like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
Oh,
which
okay.
might be a bit of an off put for some people, but I don't think it's as much of a problem as people think. Yeah. I also think that, as I say, a lot of his minutes will be in the strength position, because at the end you can't have Alexander Arnold playing all the minutes straight away, and a lot of where we have gone wrong with squad depth in the past has been only having strength in that position, and then as soon as something goes wrong with him, he needs a rest or he gets injured, then the drop off in quality is sometimes quite steep.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like Timber would close that gap a little bit. Obviously, with all due respect to James Milner and Joe Gomez and other players that have filled in, but you want someone ideally who's a bit more of a specialist in that position, and Timber's played a lot of minutes at right back. So
yeah, I agree. Anton, what do you think of him, bro? Timber,
just a couple of words really. He comes from Ajax Academy. Ajax Academy, they pull him out, mate. They pull him out. They're not terrible players. They've been taught from young what to do with the ball. You know, so I think he's a great addition. He's quick as well. He's really quick as well. Yeah, quick as well. He can play centre back, play centre midfield. Can't go wrong. Right back. Yeah, Gomez and that. If these guys come in, when these guys come in, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be like a big rod up their arse, like shit. I really need to start playing now. I need to study my game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Iron out all the wrongdoings I'm doing, and start perfecting my game. When you see these players, that's what's going to happen. If he comes in, I'm going to be happy. Another one I'm going to be happy with. Dutch as well. They can speak the language. They can say a little thing to the VVD and that, you know, in their language. When they're talking about our player or he was attacking us. You know what I mean?
To me, it's about strength and depth in it. Like I referred to earlier, like if you have competition for places, I guarantee you everybody's going to up their game, and you know they won't make the mistakes as we did this season as well. He looks like a player that's suited to the way we play as well, and he's comfortable in the ball. He could play more than one position. That's a typical, as they say, Klopp player. And if he could play right back, while we could move Trent to a centre midfield role, maybe I mean that will work out sometimes. And if one of our centre backs is injured, he could drop into centre back. If midfielders are injured, he could just drop into that DM position as well. So if we have these type of players all around the pitch, I think we'll be all right. Especially when we get injuries, guys. You know what I mean? If we get injuries, players can cover positions, innit?
I'm so confident if this guy comes in, Gomez will become World Player of the Year. I'm telling you, this guy will be like, what? How come he's so good now? What's going on? I'm telling you. Pick up the arse and say, look, well, I'm under threat now. I'm going to have to do something. I'm sorry. We need players like that. We've been needing players for that for ages now.
Exactly, man.
Thank you, FSG. Jesus.
Yeah, Kona will have red dreads next season. Yes! I hope so, bro. I hope so.
I hope so. We're getting linked with. Mickey van der Veen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mickey van der
I
Veen.
was just,
Is this true? Yeah.
No. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy from Wolfsburg.
How good is he, Harley?
I've actually watched.
Is it the one that they make the video out of? He's running from one side to the other side. Is that the one?
Yeah.
I knew I saw him.
There's a photo doing the rounds at the minute of him with our new Jorg Schmachter. I think
Mhm.
that's how you pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him Jorg for the sake of this video. I've seen a couple of lads on Twitter call him Smackhead because the surname sounds a bit like that, but that feels a bit disrespectful. So I'm just going to stick with Jorg for now.
William York.
There's a photo doing the rounds of Van der Ven and Jorg at Anfield.
Yeah.
Van der Ven's
Is he that quick though, guys? Is he really that quick? What I saw, or is it just a video forwarded or something?
No.
He's an
No,
Olympic
he was a meme
sprinter.
at first. He was a meme at first. But, how the hell is this guy so quick? Because it was what's his name? The French guy we was linked with, the striker. He
I
plays
forgot his
for.
name.
Nkunku.
He plays for Frankfurt.
Nkunku. Oh.
Colomani.
He missed the last shot at France against
Colomani.
Argentina. Yes, and he's rapid as well. So he's gone through, and this you look on the picture, you see this white flash, and it was him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's so quick.
And when I found out it was him, I was so happy, man.
That's not all there is to that guy's game. It's not just speed. He's so comfortable on the ball. He's
Mm-hmm.
left-footed. We've needed a left-footed defender for ages, I think.
Yeah.
He's just so comfortable. He's so comfortable. He's so quick. He's intelligent. I will admit, I've only seen him play.
You could play left back too. Wow.
But, so I can't say I've got the biggest sample size of him, but from what I can gather, he
looks big.
A lot of potential. He's got the size on his side. He's got size, speed, technicality, intelligence, defensive ability. The left foot in this, good at playing up in the back, excellent at playing up in the back. In fact, I really like the idea of getting him. He probably won't cost too much. And he's a Liverpool supporter. As I say, there's a photo doing the rounds of him at Anfield
That's
with
what
a
I'm
Liverpool
saying.
scarf on.
Listen,
No complaints.
if you can work it out, he's 193 meters.
Wow.
193.
I think that's roughly 6'4", isn't it? I'm not the best with conversions, but if somebody can maybe in the chat can go on Google and come back to us on that.
193.
Yeah. All I saw is him running, man, and I said, "Freaking! It's impossible for a player to run like that from one half to another and stop the ball going in the net." That's amazing. That is amazing. Listen, I don't know how good he is. I've never watched him. I'm not gonna come over here and just give you a lie or anything like that. I would love to see him in a full game to be comfortable enough to say that we have to sign him.
If I had to describe him to you in just a sentence, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way towards him, he's a budget Josko Gvardiol, and that is a compliment rather than like an insult. Like, oh, you're just the cheap version of him. No.
Yeah.
You can offer a lot of what Gvardiol does, but
have we given up on that transfer, Gvardiol?
I'm not sure, but I imagine if we're going to get him, we'll probably miss out on Gvardiol because they're basically the same player, but with some slight differences.
He's more quicker than Guardiola.
Yeah.
I was going to come to Gvardiol. Do you think like the transfer Leipzig won him for, Harley, is too much? Like I think it's something around 100 million, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's probably a bit steep. That it's probably one of them where if we're looking at getting several players in, we aren't getting them in on top of all the midfield. We're getting reality, and it just makes sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense that if you have a player of a similar profile who can probably do like the similar thing, then it probably makes more sense to go for the cheaper option because Leipzig are going to kind of take the piss out of us, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And we don't have that level of money where we can just turn it down, go 100 million. There you go, Leipzig.
No, what they're saying is just the Premier League. If you come from the Premier League, they automatically think you got money.
And it's Liverpool Football Club at the same time as well.
As soon as you're there, so you got money. So you're at that team. Even that team just went up the other day, Luton Town. If they go for a player, are you in the Premier League? Oh, that's that player who was 40 million. He's now 80 million.
Yeah. Redbird says, loving the doubters to believers t-shirt, Anton.
Hey!
Quality. Revenant says, Klopp said it before, he's talking about, I think, the shooting from outside the box and all that stuff. Listen, I can't believe players refuse to shoot. Maybe I'm from a different time of football. I don't know. You know what I mean? But if I've got the quality to shoot, I know when I was younger I didn't have the quality to shoot from outside the box that Anton did. But I'll still take a shot if I have to. You know what I mean? That's.
I think Klopp's very much somebody who would. I don't think he necessarily dislikes players shooting, but he's very much a kind of cross the ball into the box. Let's work it into the box. Let's kind of break them down in that way, kind of thing. I think.
But Harley, the question is here, yeah, guys. If you look at our games, when, like you said, teams deep line defend, they don't want to get out of that defense. What if we can't shoot from outside the box? We can't walk it in. So why can't we shoot? I mean, it could take a deflection. It could take it. Yeah.
Look at Alexander Arnold, Curtis Jones again. My, what a thunderbolt against Leicester that was. Both Curtis and Trent done it against Leicester. I feel like
Salah does it all the time, right? Salah shoots all the time.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure it's not the coach.
Pick the moments and pick.
Yeah, maybe
and
it's the moment.
pick the time. There's a time and place.
It says it's both.
There's a time and place.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you try and force long shots every single time, then that just isn't going to go well, and it's going to piss your teammates off. It's going to piss the supporters off. It's going to piss Klopp off, and rightfully so, because you can't just think, right, I've got the ball outside the box every single time. Let's just have a go. It's just no, it doesn't work.
Maybe it's just me, guys. Maybe I'm from a different time of football. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me.
But I do think it's one of them where Klopp just wants to see players. I think first and foremost, he really tells players to work into the box, and that's just modern football in general.
But it doesn't work all the time. You know what I mean? If the team camp out outside the box, what can we do?
Yeah,
I mean, the shot might take a deflection and go in or something like that. You know what I mean? You got to think about things like this. Take the risk. I mean, it's all about risks at the end of the day.
That's what I'm
saying. If a team plays two banks of four, if they play like a low block, it's gonna be hard for us to score or break them down. Other teams saw that, and we know we're gonna shoot.
Exactly.
Use some other type of way to score. It's all about scoring. You know what I mean? It's all about having shots, man. Because I feel like as Ollie said, it can come off. It can come off a defender.
The goalkeeper could actually make a mistake. You know what I mean? Palm it out. I mean, yeah, we've got to take the risks, man. Like, I hope these new players can do that as well. Revenant says players can't shoot in our team, and Klopp tells them not to. Listen, if it's like that, then like I said, maybe I'm in the wrong time of football. Maybe that's what it is. I want to get to this player. Obviously, we're coming to the end of the show, because it had to be a transfer show. I want this player more than anyone. I know you guys have given up on him. I think he's for sale. Let me bring him on. Nah, forget Bellingham. I gave up on that a long time ago, man. I gave up on that. Next year will be ours. The old saying goes, next year will be ours. This player, guys, he's got to be available in some sort of way, because his manager said
Arsenal.
He's available. Why are we resigning to Arsenal getting him, Harley? Why? Why can't we get him?
Look,
do you guys agree with me? Do you like this guy, or is it just am I seeing a different thing?
He's fantastic. I think Caicedo's fantastic. He's got so much to his game: box to box, defensive ability, technicality, that kind of penetrative way of going about things in the final third.
Yeah.
It's one of them. I feel like price tag's probably what is pushing us back. Let's be honest. That's probably.
But you got Harley. But you got to be smart. It's all about negotiations. You know, like everybody talks about price tags, etc., and all that stuff. But it's not always about the price tag. You pay installments. You don't pay all of it at once. Why don't you offer them a player and then get the player or something along those lines? We might have
some teams, Fozzie, they want the money straight. They don't want the installments.
I don't know about the Premier League. I don't know about the Premier League though. It's
not so black and white like that, Foz. It's not so black and white like that.
If Arsenal and Chelsea turn down and put the money on the table,
Go on, Harley.
Put the money on the table. They're going to expect us to do the same thing if we're looking at getting involved. Another thing I'm curious about is some of his social media activity is strange. Like, do you remember back at the end of January where he was saying like goodbye to the Brighton fans as if he don't want them, and then he ended up staying for another season, and now he's done another goodbye post.
And he even signed a contract, didn't he? He signed a contract as well.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying there's an attitude problem there, but it just makes me scratch my head a little bit. Like,
From what I've heard, Harley, his ambition, like it's just like every South American player. He wants to go Real Madrid, Barcelona. That's what it is. That's the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of what would make me think. Like, what if he would do the same to us? Like, he's a fantastic footballer, absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's a case of. I feel like it's a case of if Klopp wants to get 3 midfielders in, and he feels both Toure and Thuram a better value for money than just him, then that's how it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on him, guys. I honestly don't want to have that regret like we did this season. Sorry, Harley, to interrupt, but I think he's out of the midfield. I think he's the one we need the most out of anyone. And what I like about him, he's an all-rounder. He's not just like he doesn't settle in, and he's only 21, guys. Look at how long he could stay at Liverpool.
Like I said before, Foz, he's like Kante, but with technique. Because Kante,
exactly, bro.
Kante was like it was everywhere, but when it came to forward play, his forward play wasn't as good as his defensive play. His defensive play was better than his forward play. But this guy is 50-50, both sides. He could shoot outside the goal. He could make the simple pass.
Exactly.
He's got a little trickery to get him out.
Exactly, bro.
And he can run for everywhere. He can run for everyone. He's like a Duracell battery. I think he's some Duracell adverts for Duracell, man. Everywhere. I
don't want to miss this opportunity, guys. You know what I mean? As he says, I think I've missed something. I never heard Klopp say it. They're talking about the players don't shoot outside the box and all that stuff.
What I will say in defence of not necessarily Landon Caicedo is a lot of players that Klopp has signed, particularly in midfield, a lot of them aren't like these big money like stars. We tend to a lot of the time look towards somebody who has ability, but he goes for quite industrial midfield, doesn't he? I feel like he's getting that balance a little bit. Don't get me wrong, Caicedo ticks all the boxes, but it's just one of them where he can turn. He doesn't necessarily have to have a world-class player or a player bordering on world-class.
Exactly,
he brings in these good, if not great players, and turns them into something a bit more and allows them to thrive.
Like I've always said, though, Harley. I said what I said in the past few months. I said if you look at all these players Klopp bought when they left Liverpool or left Dortmund or anything like that, how many of them have ever succeeded? So basically, he has the way of integrating these players into formations and make them work somehow. And that's the quality of a manager, man. That's the quality of a manager. What do you think, Anton? Things like that.
To be honest with Caicedo,
I don't want to miss out, man.
We should have hijacked him.
A long time ago, man.
When Man United were monitoring and they were going to pay 30 million for him. When they said no, we should have gone in then. We should have gone in then. That's what we should have gone in then. We'd have got him for 30 million. At the time, Man United
decisions,
on the brink of getting him, and at the last minute they went no, we don't want him.
That's crazy, man. It's bad negotiations, isn't it? But listen, we've got a new guy in now, Anton. That's negotiating for us, and Big George, as I call him. I don't know his second name. His second name's too difficult to, he's already working. From what I've heard, he's already working on the Carvalho deal to get him out on loan. He's working on the McAllister deal right now already. So he's already been told to do his job and all that stuff. He's got a short-term contract. I don't know how real that is. Are they just like looking at him, what he does in the transfer window, and then they've got the perfect excuse to give him a long-term contract? Or what is it? Why is it so short, Harley, the contract they give him? I think it's about 6 or 7 months, I've heard, something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Like, it could be for several reasons. It could be Liverpool don't necessarily want to commit to him. It could be on his side. It could be a case of I'm only interested in working for half a year. There's a lot of different things it could be. We can only speculate, but in a perfect world, we've got him now for that amount of time. He does well, and Klopp decides, and the club in general decide, and he decides, of course, because he has to agree to it, to stick around. And he seems like he knows what to do. He's made some good signings for Wolfsburg and Cologne on limited budget. Now he's finally getting to do work at this kind of top club with a bit more financial push. Yeah, I think it could be a really good thing.
Anton, what do you think of George as well? Like a recruitment, recruitment. Yeah.
George,
Smacky. Yeah. What do you think of like? Anton, do you agree with like in a sense of we need to sort the backroom stuff out before we sort on the pitch out? Like what Arsenal did last season, they got a in or whatever they did anyway. They sorted the back room out first, and then they move it into the pitch after that. Do you think that's the way to go in football? The recruitment team first, and then the players.
100%. That's the basis of all the team, my friend. That's the basis. And we need to sort out the medical staff. Not mention the medical staff. We need the medical staff as well.
Yeah.
So, 100%. And I like him because he's aggressive. As soon as he's hit the ground running, as soon as he come in, bam, 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 bam. So that's what we want. We don't want here saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that no more. You get that?
Hell was killing me with that Turkish mob. Harley got his trim in a Turkish mob.
I've got it trim.
We've lost the hair, Anton. Forget about us, man. So, guys, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. So in normal circumstances, guys, that's the first team. Yeah, from what I've gathered, anyway. This is from me. I can't make it any bigger than that. Sorry, Harley. It's alright. So we've got obviously Alisson in the goal, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, and Trent. Fabinho as a defensive midfielder with Henderson and Thiago, Gakpo up front with Diaz and Salah. That's normal circumstances, probably our first team if everybody's fit. And then we could switch it around, all that stuff. So with these new players, the ones we're already tracking with Thuram here, Anton, where does he play, bro? Where do you put him in the team? Because I want to get it from your point of view, because I don't know nothing about these players, so I want to get it from your point of view. Who's he swapping with?
He can do the 8. Swapping with Fabinho.
Fabinho, yeah?
He can do the 6 and he can do the 8.
Okay, swapping with Fabinho. Do you agree with that, Harley?
Personally, I think I'm more inclined to put him in the Henderson position. That's where I think if you're going to put any of the new signings in that 6, it's going to be Kone. But personally,
you think Kone is more defensive than him?
I personally think so. And I would say that from the statistical point of view, that would probably agree with me. Like the data point of view would probably agree with me. But I see Thuram as that right side of the personally.
What do you think, Anton? Do you agree with him in that, or?
Hey, like I said, he can play the 6 or the 8, so he can play both. He can play both if he wanted.
I'll go with Harley with this one. What about Harley? What do you think of Kone, mate? Like, what? Do you think he should be here, or he should be, there or some other position?
I think Kone can play both the Thiago side of things, so kind of like the Curtis Jones role that we play in the new system, or he could do the 6. I feel like I personally don't think we need the 6 as much as some people think. I think between Fabinho, Bichette, Thiago, Henderson, they can all kind of cover that.
Yeah.
But he can go there as well. I personally think where you would probably get the most minutes from Kone is the left side of the 8 and Thuram the right side of the 8. But both of them, particularly Kone.
But the thing I'm trying to say to you, Harley, is if the other, the third player we're going to be talking about next, if all 3 play, what formation would you play? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If all 3 of them play, I know, like we love Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, and all that stuff.
If we're in a situation where all 3 play,
well, what position would you guys put them? That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Kone holds, Thuram goes on the right, McAllister goes on the left.
Do you agree with that, Anton, or do you see it in a different way?
I would play 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1.
Not the 3 at the midfield.
It'd be two pivots. So it'd be Kone and Thuram.
Yeah.
And in front of them will be McAllister.
Okay.
That would work.
Like this?
In the ideal world, if you ask me now, if the Klopp said to me,
but Klopp ain't gonna do that.
That's I would play like that.
But Klopp wouldn't do that.
You won't play like that. But like I said, I will play. Like I said, Kone's more he's got more ability going forward. He's got ability in the back as well. But Thuram, like his father, he's a very good defender. So I will play Thuram as the 6, and I'll play Kone as the 8, and I'll play Alexis on the left hand side as a 10.
Yeah.
So it'll be like.
So in an ideal world, like if you look at Klopp, Harley, what formation is he gonna play? 4-3-3, right? Or is he gonna do double pivot?
I think he's going to stick with a lot of the principles we've seen over the past 12 games or so. Honestly, maybe a little bit less. Where it's kind of the whole 4-3-3 defensive shape up, the build up, the 3-2-4-1 or the 3-2-2-3 or whatever. I feel like he's going to stick with that, and that's probably where I'm thinking a lot of his signings. That's what he's thinking with these signings. A lot of them.
You know what? Do you know why he plays 4-3-3, guys? Like in Germany, if you look at him in Germany, like if you watch Dortmund when he was there, he had a lot of technical players. I could be wrong. I mean, I did watch Dortmund a lot. I remember he had like the Götzes, Gundogan's, Reus. He had Mkhitaryan. He had what's that? Kagawa. So if you see all those names, Anton, aren't they all technical players? So he looked at the Premier League. The reason he plays all action midfielders, it depends on the league. You know what I mean? He knows the Premier League is this high-paced football, all action. So you got to have those type of players to play in these positions. Because if you play all technical and they can't keep up with play, we'll concede more chances and probably teams will create more than against us. Am I right or wrong, Anton, in that?
Yeah, you are correct, sir. You are correct.
Yeah. So this is how I see he's gonna play. I'm sure you guys see it, because he's never gonna step away. He's never gonna step away from these 4-3-3. He never does it. I mean, even before the World Cup, we was playing like this. Like I remember, and people were disagreeing with me. I didn't understand it. I'm thinking to myself, we was playing like this, double pivot midfield. And I think he pushed Salah more further up the field, and then he brought on what's his name, Harvey Elliott on the right hand side against Man City, as I remember. So just pretend this is Harvey Elliott. Yeah. So this is how he played before the World Cup. He came back after the World Cup, and he does what he normally does: 4-3-3, back to normal, and. We couldn't win for ages, and this is what we've got to step away from. What I like about next season as well, guys, is we've got options. We've got more than one position, on formation on the pitch. We don't have to just rely on the same old 4-3-3 in every game. If the game is tight, we could change it up and play players in different positions. And I honestly think we'll be more successful next season than this season as well. Yeah.
I think so too. I think we've been more successful this season. That's what was missing in of last season was new players, man, fresh blood, and everyone can see that. Obviously, the rivals or Madrid said, it's Liverpool, wham twos, but they knew deep in their heart. It's just like, come on, I know FSG. They want to give them money for them to move forward. It's as simple as that. And that's what it is. That's what it is. And now. Looks like we're going to put money in their pocket for the first time in a long time.
I think Henderson will get limited games next season, Anton. What do you think about that? I think he's going to play the Milner role next season.
Do you know what? Fabinho, they're all our midfield are currently there now. They need that. They need that breath of fresh air. They need. Do you know what? I can relax for a while.
Anton, do you think we're harsh on Henderson though? Do you think we're harsh on Henderson, Anton?
We are harsh on Henderson. We're harsh on Henderson. He's really important. But sometimes it's football relax, man, where you need to do something very simple so other footballers do, and he can't do it. He's quite bread and butter, isn't it? But I do love him anyway. Yeah.
Harley, do you think on Henderson's side of things, especially as the captain, do we expect too much of him, or are we right to do so?
I think it's a case of I think he gets too much stick. I definitely think he does get too much stick. He's not being the player he has been or can be, like last season, the season just gone. I'm referring to the season just gone now as last season. Just don't want to be clear on that. And I think it's a case of we do probably have to start limiting his minutes more. We probably are never going to see the Jordan Henderson that we've seen in like the prime years of this Liverpool side.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. He's ran a lot of miles. particularly for Liverpool, he's done a lot. He's at a certain age. He's never necessarily been somebody who's, I'm not saying he's a stupid footballer, but he's not somebody like a Thiago who is pure intelligence and technique alone. He's very, a lot of his stuff is like based, isn't it? It's very pressing and energy, and that's something you lose with age. I think Jordan Henderson, and I've said this for a while now, I've been saying this for a couple of years, the less he plays, the better he is when he does play.
Yeah, I said that a long time ago. Yeah,
get the same with Fabinho. It's the same with Fabinho. Better player, ironically. Look, I think he's still got a big part to play in terms of being a squad player. You don't just lose that. You don't just lose being one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, because at his best, that's what he was. You don't just lose that overnight. There's still a player in there. Yeah, and more importantly,
Harley, do you think like he's a bit naive? Guys, I'm asking both of you. He's naive to still play international football. Like, what more do you have to offer playing for England still at the age of 32? I think he's heading towards 33. Like, what are you still doing playing for England? Like,
it's at
that age, shouldn't you concentrate on your football club right now, because that's what needs you the most? And you know what I mean, you need to, like, you know, pay your bills. You know what I mean, and stay in the top for a while.
I'd like never play another minute for England again, but realistically, he's going to play every time he gets called up. As long as Southgate keeps calling him up and giving him big minutes and big tournaments,
he's a team player. He's a team player.
But like in an ideal world, he'd never kick a ball again for England. For me, like I want him absolutely nowhere near that team, because I don't want any Liverpool players near that team. Because one, I don't want any reason to like them. And two, I want as many Liverpool players to get less minutes for things that aren't Liverpool related. Like the last thing I want is Liverpool players to get injured on international duty.
Yeah. So Anton, what do you think? Like, is he a bit naive, like what he's doing in regards to like still playing international football at his age now? Like, he's not a young man anymore, is it? Like, surely he's, because if you underperform in the club level, you know what I mean, you're not going to be there much longer. Are you? You're not going to play a lot of games either. So why don't you just limit your football and just concentrate on one?
He's a romantic. He's gonna play for England. Come on, he ain't retired yet. He ain't retired yet, man. Come on. He's a romantic. He's 100% gonna. If he gets
patriot, yeah, he's a patriot, man.
He's a patriot, man. He's going 100%. I don't want him to go.
Yeah.
I wanted to just, like, his last remaining legs to be part play for Liverpool, but be around the team. You understand? Yeah. We've already got one. He's already gone with Millie.
Yeah.
For him, I wanted to stay, obviously, and just don't play for England, and just use all these powers to push the new players into a nice scene.
He's definitely going to play. He's definitely going to play for England, and another reason why we know that is because Bellingham has got that knee injury adding. So if Bellingham isn't going to be playing in the qualifiers, that's him nailed on to start basically. Like, well, they're probably going to play midfield three of Rice, Henderson, Mount, aren't they? Whereas usually it'd be Rice, Bellingham, Mount. But with Bellingham injured, it's obviously going to be Henderson who fills in. So
you know, like I've been speaking to other social media guys. Obviously, I told you in the beginning I was in the Jamie Phillips football chat show. We was discussing the formation about the defense. They were saying we should revert to three at the back and wing backs. Harley, would you be happy with that, playing with three at the back, like two pivot midfielders, one in a free role, and, you know, two out wide and one out front, something like that along those lines? Or like, would you? Sorry, not two out wide, two out front, and one just off them as well. Like, would you be happy with three at the back with wingers and two pivot midfielders, and one just plays in front of them, and then having two up front? We used to play like that in the 90s with Anton remembers this, with Stan Collymore, Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman, Jason McAteer, John Barnes, Jamie Redknapp, Stigin, Bionaby, Jason McAteer, Neil Ruddock, John Scales, and Phil Babb. And you got David James in goal. So I named all the 11. Yeah, so this is how we used to play. We played the most attractive football, as Anton remembers, but it wasn't giving us the trophies that we needed, because we struggled in certain games. You know, like if you find out about a formation, it was so easy to find out. You know, double up on the wings. I mean, then you free up a centre back coming out from his position, and then they get the goals that way when they bombard the actual box. But I'm listen. I'm not opposed to it, like that everybody thinks I am. But I rather just stick with the 4 at the back, because that's the only thing that wins you championships or anything else in that way.
I am very much opposed to it, and I've said this for a while. I remember everybody saying, "Oh, Chelsea!" Like, remember when Chelsea just won the Champions League?
Yes.
Shit out, and they had Thomas Tuchel.
Yes.
Everybody was saying, "Oh, Chelsea going to win the league, going to win this," and I said to everybody who would listen to my opinion, for what my opinion is worth, a team in an era with Guardiola's Man City and Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp, you are never going to have the consistency to win a league title with a 3 at the back defensive minded team. Conte got away with it at Chelsea,
but he got sacked. Well, the next season, what happened? He got sacked because people found it out. People found out how to play against it.
Yeah, in modern football, that's why Tuchel could win the Champions League, but it's why with Chelsea, but it's why he couldn't have a league title charge. It's why he couldn't maintain a league title charge.
Yeah.
I also think Klopp's style and the players that we have, back 4 just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Back 4 just makes sense. Also, what people don't realise is, if our midfield is already struggling, the last thing we want to do is take numbers out of that midfield, so the midfield would struggle more. It's absolutely obscene to me that people think that that's the way to go. Like,
how many teams have ever won with that? Anything, like, I mean, like, I know you just said Tuchel and Conte, but that's only 2. Like, if you look at all the greatest teams, they've always had 4 at the back, right or not, Harley? Like, am I seeing it wrong or?
Absolutely. Obviously, from a Liverpool point of view as well, there's only obviously you will remember like the 90s and things like that. I'm a little bit younger than you guys, so the only real memory I have of a team consistently playing back 3 at Liverpool was Brendan Rodgers in the 2014-15 season, and how did that go? He got the sack. And
50 goals in it, we conceded over 50 goals or something.
He got the sack and we finished 8th. So overall, lads, I'm not happy with that. And why change a winning formula? It's not as if we've been struggling for the longest time. What's the formation that's won us all?
It's just what's in front of it is the issue at the moment, isn't it? The midfield. Yeah.
Especially now that we have the opportunity to actually sign players.
Exactly.
Why don't we sign players for the formula that we already have that wins, instead of I'm sorry, I just think the idea of playing a back 3 is just
people don't realise like what gaps it opens. They don't understand.
People's point of season, we are not getting that with a back 5, back 3, whatever. Back 3 and build up is fine, because
for certain games, it's for certain games, isn't it, Harley? For certain games, I mean,
how you defend is how you win the ball back, and you can't really play a high pressing game with 3 centre backs.
Nope. And then the 3 centre backs get confused. You go out, or shall I stay back? You know what I mean, it's like this, like that. What about you, Anton? We know where we was. Come on, man. Roy Evans is. Come on, man, Anton, man. You know how angry we used to get, man, back in the day, and
the difference is, this guy was taught by one of the greatest of all time, greatest minds of all time, and that's Cruyff. And that's my guy. He's doing it with the 3 at the back. You know what I'm saying? I understand why people say for the 3 at the back, but Klopp, he doesn't have the capacity. Don't get me wrong. He's not saying
you need the players for that, don't you?
You need, it's not just the players. The man just got the know-how. I don't think, because with Pep Linders and Klopp, it works together. How they play.
Yeah.
But with Guardiola, it's just Guardiola's doing this. You know what I'm saying? The 3 at the back, the boxing, the four midfielders, as a box, and the 3 forwards. Bro, I'm telling you this. It's only he can do it. Only he can do it. Don't get me wrong. But
how many times? What did he do this in the past? Just this season, Anton.
When Trent comes in, do you know what? To be honest, he's tried it before.
Yeah.
I think he's just learning. Each time he's learning, he's doing well. Each time, and it's just improving. Even for me, I feel like he used this season.
Yeah.
It's perfect because everyone wasn't really great. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna experiment. That's why it was a bit funny with Haaland playing with the team at first. It was gel, and when he started playing this formation and it started to gel, it was killing teams. He was ripping them apart, man. So personally, it's the manager, and sometimes it could be the personnel. But I think it's the manager.
Am I wrong to say, Anton? This is the only season he's actually tried that three at the back, or like, has he done it before? I don't remember when Liverpool were challenging. I don't think he took that risk. I think because this season is so free for everyone, to have a go at the league. I think he took those risks this season. But as I remember, when even this season, guys, when he played against the big teams, I don't think he played three at the back. I think he played four. But then I could be wrong, because I know Kyle Walker as a right back doesn't step away from the centre back position. If you look at Kyle Walker, he's always around the halfway line. You look at Trent, he's always bumming up. You look at Cancelo, they're always bumming up. But Kyle Walker has always been a third centre back. This is where they trick you. You know what I mean? So he might have been playing three at the back. Yeah, you could be right, Anton. You could be right in that.
I feel like the only time we've played it we played a little bit of it against Man City, but I feel like that was kind of adapting for the personnel as well, because we didn't have. I don't think we had Trent in that game where we beat City at Anfield this season.
Yeah.
But it's one of them where I don't mind it when it's like adapting to an opposition occasionally.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
Playing a back three week in, week out, like playing a fucking back three against like Derby County or someone like that, with all due respect. It's just that, isn't it? It's just that.
Anton, you remember when we used to watch this, man? It was the most attractive football. Football by Roy Evans, watching Stan Collymore, Steve McManaman doing his, dribbling and all that stuff. But it wasn't protecting those defenders. We were still conceding a lot of goals because they were coming out of position.
The difference is the manager, my friend.
Yeah.
And like I said, learn from the greatest minds of all time.
Yeah.
In football. Because they're still using his methods today. Man's gone.
Yeah.
Stop managing how many years ago, and the people are still using his methods.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's probably the only way I can kind of get my head around trying to go for the three. I just really don't like having less than three midfielders. I just
I
wouldn't do it with my team.
No, my team either, man. Hell no.
He can do it because
hell no.
If you watch it slowly, if you watch them deeply, right, when they lose possession, they go into a 4. They go into a 4, and it's like, what? How the fuck do you do? How do you do that? Stones drops in.
Yeah.
He's no longer a midfielder. He drops in.
He drops in when they're in trouble. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you can kind of make it work when you have that kind of box midfield or diamond. But the idea of just kind of going 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, stick 2 in the midfield, everyone else up front, it's just too defensive for me. It's too defensive, and it leaves us too weak in the middle.
Look at the gaps. You could even see it now, like the gaps they could actually have on the pitch. That's what it does to you. You know what I mean? And every position is double up on when the opponent play their 4 at the back and probably 4-4-1-1 or something like that, or 4-3, 3 at front or something like that. Like when they keep changing formations, but when they play 4 at the back, but it opens a lot of gaps. It opens a lot of areas on that pitch as well. But Anton, like he said, I agree with you 100%, Anton, because. If you look at Pep Guardiola, he can take those risks because he learned from the best mind in the business in regards to tactics, and that's why he can take that. But with Klopp, I don't think his team can do that, and the personnel we got, I don't think they can do that either. Like I can't. Stick to what you know, man. But John Conway says all of us, obviously, Harley, Fozzie, Anton. What do you think? So who do you think will be captain Liverpool next season, guys? Harley, if Henderson doesn't play as much as
I was going to say, the answer for me is quite obvious. Jordan Henderson. If he's not leaving the club, he's not dropping the armband. And I don't think he should drop the armband. But if you're asking who will be the on-field captain for most games and who will be the vice captain, Virgil van Dijk. Milner's going. Give that role to Van Dijk. He deserves it. He's been third in command captain for a while. Give it to Van Dijk. It's the obvious answer, but I think it's the right answer.
What about you, Anton?
My one is drum roll.
Robertson.
This Robertson, man. There's no gimmicks.
Yeah.
Robertson. I feel like Virgil. It will let Come on, man, you can't be doing things like that. Come on, guys. I'm seeing Robertson go, what the fuck is that? What the, you know, I can see it. You know what I mean?
the veins coming out of his neck.
You know what
Ah,
I'm saying? Yeah, he's gonna go pink. So for me personally, I have Robertson. I love Robertson.
You know what, Anton? I'm with you with that one. I'll tell you why. I tell you why I say that, because Van Dijk, when he's a captain, he loses focus of his own game. That's what I see when Van Dijk is the captain. Because Van Dijk, let him concentrate his own game. Let him do whatever he does. You know what I mean? Robertson can lead the team, in my opinion, and Van Dijk, you know, can make less mistakes when he makes less mistakes when he's not captain. I gotta be real.
Like this.
Yeah.
If you were playing for Liverpool right now, this goes for you as well,
Harley. Yeah.
If there was you playing for Liverpool and there was a fire, and your captain is Robertson, or your captain is Virgil van Dijk. If Virgil van Dijk said to me, let's go and there's a fire, I'm like, I don't know now. But if Robertson was captain, he said, there's a fucking fire, let's go through it. I wouldn't even... Braveheart. I'm going with him. I don't care. I don't even think about getting burned. I'm just going to go because he told me to. Because I'll be like, it's not because of the height from that. It's just that it's got more
passion.
More
There. Yeah.
More fire there.
Desire. Yeah. Passion and desire.
If Virgil had that, he'll be unstoppable. That's when he'll be the greatest defender of all time. If he had that bit of passion.
But he hasn't, man.
Sometimes it's a bit too Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't follow Rolls Royce into a fire.
No. Me neither, man. The future looks bright, lads. As he says, the future looks bright, lads. We need to get FSG out first. I don't think they're going to be leaving anytime soon. I'm resigned, man. I'm tired of trying to do that movement, man. I'm done with it. I'm
all for all of them out, but if they get the players, I'll just forget about them for a couple of months.
For a couple of months, yeah. And then we'll get back to normality. Yeah. If things go wrong, we go back. You know, we'll go back.
You got all these players. I'm gonna grab them back. Mickey Van Veen. The other guy, what's his name?
Thuram.
Listen, if we get all them players and Timber, I'll be like, yeah, I'll send them bouquet, bro. I'll send them
the flowers, man. Yeah.
I'll send them flowers. Thank you. Don't talk to us again. Like, just look to leave next year or something.
Look the other way. Yeah, look the other way. Just get out. Get out, as Arnold says. Get out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, for me, it's one of them where I've said like my piece on the whole FSGL thing, and my thought is, as long as we're getting the players we need to get this in the window, I don't really care where it comes from. I don't care who owns us. Do you know what I mean? And that goes to whether it's internal or external. I am not after. Don't take money out the club.
Yeah. And
as long as we're getting players that we need to get, and as long as Liverpool are good at football again, which I have full confidence that we will be.
Yeah.
100%.
Then I'm with you guys. I've resigned.
Does not affect my life. I just simply cannot be asked.
Yeah.
Sat there on Twitter going on and on about. They've got the flaws. They're not the greatest, but it could also be worse. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's just one of them where it's just not worth the energy that I think.
It ain't anymore, man. I'm done, man. Harley, you see me? I don't even write anymore, man. You know, I've given up a long time ago. Every day I just write about FSG. This, get out. This. Find something on them. I'm tired, man. I can't be asked anymore. FSG every day, man.
Realistically, they're not.
It's their club. It's their club, guys. It's their club, man. It's their club. They invested in this. It's their club. It's their club, man. John says, great stream, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you very much, brother. Go on, Harley. Go on.
Anywhere for another couple of years. Realistically, it's just one of them.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, it's their club. It's their club. I can't go any further than that, bro. At the end of the day, you just have to accept it for what it is. Unless they want to sell, you know what I mean, it's a different thing.
We have to grin and bear it.
Yeah, just get on with it, guys. So next season, what are you expecting, Mr. Anton? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna compete for the league? Or are we going to be like trying to battle for top 4 before we go?
I want to compete for everything. If we get all the players that I just said, I want to compete. Just to compete. I want us to be a problem for every team that faces us. As simple as that.
What about you, Harley, mate?
We're going to win the fucking league. We're going to win the Europa and we're going to challenge for one of the cups.
Freaking hell.
See, I will follow him in the fire.
Premier League guaranteed, Europa League basically guaranteed, and I think we'll take one of the cups as well, just for good measure.
We will rule the world, mate. We will rule the world. Guys, question before we go. I don't know if you guys watched that game yesterday. Like, what happened? Why is Mourinho angry? Why is he swearing at Anthony Taylor?
I slept through half that game.
Did you watch it? Interviews?
I watched the
sorry.
first half, slept through the second, slept through extra time, and just seen the penalties. But what I don't get is how everybody loves Jose Mourinho having a go at the refs. Like, oh yeah, these over refs, Jose's telling him this, telling him that.
Someone else.
Klopp doesn't even do half of that. Klopp doesn't swear. He doesn't.
He followed him to the car park, innit? And
he followed him to the car park, yeah.
Fucking disgrace.
He swore at him in the car park.
He swore at him, Anton. Yeah.
Klopp done that, it'd be a ban. People would be calling for him to be executed live on television. People would... Do you know what I mean?
No, we don't condone that. You know what it is? It's the Liverpool tax, Harley. It's a Liverpool tax, mate.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly
nobody likes us, bro. I mean, that's how it is. Like I said, separate things from football, man. Just concentrate on football. Football takes away a lot of stuff, a lot of problems from us if we just concentrate on that. If you know what I mean, guys. Yeah, but yeah, Seville won again, guys. You know what I mean? This has become a Seville Cup. I didn't even know Chelsea had more Europa Leagues than Liverpool. I thought we was the dominant force in there. Yeah, they got one above us. 4. How? 4 and we got 3. Since when? Since when?
So
Liverpool have been top for a long time.
They won it in 2019. They won it in 2013.
And a long time ago as well.
And then when were the other two?
We wasn't born. Me and Anton wasn't even born that time. That's that's because Klopp cannot tie Mourinho's boots. Man United fan, man. Forget about Kasper. Yeah, guys. Before we go, man. And where can people find you? Of course, we know, but where can they find you, bro?
You can find me on the road or Antos01. What's it called on the Instagram or Antos0 or Antos Pentos on Twitter. Yeah.
No worries, bro. No worries. What about you, Harley, mate? Oh, wrong person. Go on, Harley. Go on, Harley.
Yeah. I mean, the Twitter name should be on there somewhere.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It has been on throughout the show.
Hopefully it was. There you go.
On the Bird app on Twitter, I just chat a lot of shit about the Reds and that. So yeah, I done a little. I don't Thuram. I might retweet it, so it's at the top of my page if anyone wants to go and give that a little read. I had some nice little stats and that.
All right, I'll have a look.
Well. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, by all means go and have a look. I'd appreciate that. Give us a little follow on Twitter, that'd be sound.
Guys, don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a second. Don't go anywhere. Harley,
don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. I'll be back. Yeah. Okay. Yes, people. That's the show. The transfer show. Wasn't planning it. Sorry about the mute in the beginning as well. I apologize to that. We should be back. I have to do a final show of the season. Let's talk LFC. I'll bring some big guns on the show. Obviously, these guys are big guns as well, and we could discuss the season, how it finished, and probably do player ratings as well for the season, and concentrate on the new season at the same time as well. Yeah, so please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the subscription button, notification button, and like button. The notification will always alert you every single time we come on, even if we do a video without being live and all that stuff. So please follow us on our social medias, which is Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, of course. So yeah, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.